We will continue our discussion. Last week, what we saw was this the descriptive notation we saw, right? Which was easy to follow actually, but takes slightly more verbose. It takes more space, more characters, etc. But we looked at it, and we looked at comparison between the descriptive notation here and the same game in the algebraic notation. And then I have sent each one of you. I have sent a one game today, okay, which is the book was written in the descriptive format. Now our job as a long-term assignment, it is not like you have to do it in 1 day or 1 week. You can do it in 1 month or 2 months or even 2 3 months also. You can take it, okay, uh, but within that much time, you have to complete that entire game. Whatever game has been assigned to you, you need to convert it into the algebraic notation, not by writing on a pen and a paper, but in digital format. So I have suggested some application like analyze this or I'm here. Can you go on mute, please? Otherwise, I will have to mute everybody. Hello. Some place I was hearing. Okay, that is better. Yeah, so I have suggested some application like analyze this is the best application I think, but also Stockfish is also there. So the Droid Fish is the name of the application on Android maybe, but Stockfish itself may be available directly on iPhone also. So you can use any of that.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, is there like any link for this one, Chess Analyze on laptop, or is it just through Stockfish only?
No, Stockfish is the one. Analyze this. Let me see if there is a laptop application. I will search and send the link. But otherwise, Stockfish is the application for laptop. Okay. And so don't worry. I mean, you don't need to like immediately start this one. Maybe what I will do is tomorrow I will try to see what other application is there on a laptop, and I will try it out and I will send a link so you can hold on. Meanwhile, you can just use it to understand the game maybe on a normal chessboard. You can try playing through it. It is a long game with lot of each game is like very profusely what do you call commented, lot of variations, etc. So it will take a lot of time for you. So you can just go through it once or twice and then you can try to encode it. Okay, so no problem. So don't hurry into it. It's a reasonable good assignment and it's a long-term assignment. Okay. So fine. So what we will do is we will continue the discussion today and we will look at, so we had also seen that all of these symbols, right? 4 sets of symbols we had said, like how is the position, who is better, who is worse. Then also things like describing the move, whether it is good, bad or ugly or brilliant, etc. Then also some additional things like whether it is the only move, what is the idea behind the move, whether there is a advantage on the, what type of advantage, who has. And then also some things about like whether it is an attack, whether it is initiative, counterplay, whether there is an open file or a diagonal that is important. A lot of descriptive thing which we learned, and now what we will do is we will see how it is actually used in practice. Okay, so I've shown you this kind of a, so there are, I was telling you that there are books published which are languageless books, in the sense that languageless means they are written in chess language. Okay, some books, and there is no other thing like it, there is no English, German, Dutch, French, Russian, like that. There is no text in it. Okay, so everything is described with the symbols, and I have just shown you here. This is a type of, it's a very compact way of communicating. What normally you will take 3 pages can be done in half a page. Okay, so this is what chess players use, professional chess players use, and so we will see what does this mean. Okay, so this style was actually popularized by a Yugoslavian publisher called Chess Informant. Before the era of computers, this was the standard reference for all grandmasters. Okay, so every month, every year, they used to publish 2 volumes of the latest good games, like high quality games. Every 6 months, 1 volume. That was used to called as Chess Informant. Okay, now also they publish it in digital format as DVDs, and you can also buy it in digital download format. But there are other things that are there now, so it is not so prevalent as earlier. Okay, but it is important to know. So they had done a lot of work in systematizing and organizing the entire, how do you present chess, how do you publish chess material. Okay, so one thing that they did, so this I've shown you is an example from the opening encyclopedia. Okay, they have published, apart from the regular tournament games every 6 months, they used to also publish a encyclopedia of chess openings, which is like 5 volumes are there, A, B, C, D, E, and each one is like 300, 350 pages. So it talks about all the openings, but I'm just telling you for reference. Don't go and start doing it, because it is something where you reach, when you reach a national master level, then only it is okay to look at it. Before that, it will be a waste of time, and it will be too much. So don't go after it. But it's good to know. Doesn't mean that you will spend time on it. Okay, so they had published encyclopedia of chess openings. They also published 5 volumes encyclopedia of chess endings. All kinds of chess endings are covered in that. Again, 5 volumes, almost 300, 350, 400 pages, big book. Okay, and they also published encyclopedia of middle games. So it is like a complete thing. If you have it, it is like a standard reference work, almost like if you used to have this Encyclopedia Britannica, you might have seen earlier, like 18 volumes, 20 volumes used to be there, which covers all the knowledge in the world. Okay, not all, but at least worth knowing kind of thing. So and but no, nowadays nobody has those books, right? Everybody has a maybe a DVD, or nowadays not even DVD. You access the encyclopedia in the form of online. Like Wikipedia is one encyclopedia, or there are other ones also, like Microsoft Encarta or Oxford Encyclopedia, etc. But all of these are online now, so you don't really know how big is the book, because you never access it like a book. Okay, but there is a lot of indexing, this, that, etc. So similarly, in chess, this is the format. Okay, so now when we are talking about openings, and we said about 5 volumes, so they have classified the openings into 5 sets, and they are giving like A, B, C, D, E as the first classification. And then within that there are 100 variations, or 100 again classification is there, starting from 00 up to 99. Okay, so it goes all the way, classification goes from A00 to A99, B00 to B99, and like this up to E00 up to E99. So there are total 500 recognized variations as per the informant style. But these are not really variations, these are like main opening systems, you can call it. Okay, variations are further more in that. Okay, so we'll see it how it is. Okay, all right, so here this is B01. Okay, so in the second volume, which is B volume, the not the 00, it is the second one, 01. And this deals with the opening called as center counter defense. Okay, or it is also called as Scandinavian opening. Okay, e4 d5, white plays e4, black replies with the queen pawn, 2 squares. Okay, so this is what is the meaning of that. So this is the starting sequence. So here e4 d5, this is the common thing for everything that is there further down. Okay, all the things that is further down, the starting position is e4 and d5. That's why it has come here in the title. Okay, then this way of describing is called as a opening trees. Okay, or opening, yeah, it's called as opening trees in informant style. What do you see here? See, there are rows here and there are columns. Okay, but the columns refer to the move number. Okay, and it will always be like wherever this thing is ending, the columns will name labels will start after that. So this is like first move, so ending here. So the columns will start from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is like the moves, like move number 2, what is happening, move number 3, what is happening, 4, what is happening, 5, like this it is. Okay, now if you see the next table here, the title itself is going up to move number 4 here. E4, D5, E D5, Queen D5, right? Queen takes back the pawn, knight C3 attacks the queen, queen goes to A5, then D4, white plays with the move D4, and then black replies with knight F6. This is the starting position of all these variations below this table. So because it is ending with 4, you will see that the column names here are starting from 5, 6 onwards, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, going all the way, right? So what means is that after this, the fifth move, see here, here after 4 moves, what can be the fifth move? Okay, it can be bishop c4. Okay, that is white's move, and then black might respond with bishop g4. Okay, this is, and then after that white will play f3, black will play bishop f5, then it will be this. So this entire thing is like one variation, one line we call it, not variation, one line we call it, which is happening after the starting set of moves, right? So you got it. uh, so this is one line, but it is not the only line. It can also be that on the fifth move white need not play bishop c4, he might play knight f3. So then you get a second line here, which is starting with white plays knight f3 as the fifth move. Okay, and black responds with again bishop g4. Okay, then what happens? Then white plays h3. So this is another line. There is another line where see, it is like in the line number 8 here, what you see is, I will mark it out here, you will see the white's move has been given as dot dot dot. Okay, dot 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 means same as above. Okay, that means, so this is line number 8, and it is saying dot 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 for white, which means same as white's move as in line number 7, which is knight f3. But black's move is different, so hence instead of bishop g4, it is playing black is playing c6 as the fifth move. So that is the line number 8 here. Okay, line number 8 is this. And after that again, what white plays, it is all given. Now sometimes you'll see that this dot 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 will extend up to here. What does this mean? It is again logical. In line number 9, what it means is fifth move is same as in number 8, which means it is knight f3 for white and c6 for black. Fifth move is same. Sixth move again dot 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 means same as white's move in the line 8, which is bishop c4. Okay, so after bishop c4, it is next move, black's move is deviating bishop f5, so hence they have given it. Okay, so this is how it is to be understood, how the moves and who is playing what. Okay, now this, if you go back here, because this is a simpler thing starting from e4 d5, right? And what we said is that the line number, so these tags here are all the line numbers. Line 1 what it goes, line 2 what it goes, right? And now below that there are some superscripts here. Can you see here small thing called as 1 here written, right? Or here it is written as 3, or here it is written as 4. So these are game fragments that are quoted. Okay, these are like footnotes. Okay, and how it is to be understood is, so e4 d5 first, right? This is the title thing. Then line number 1 we are looking at it. In line, wait, let me just get it right. Yeah, this is line number 1, right? What is the, on second move, it is like column numbers labels are starting from 2. Second move, white plays e to d5, white takes the d5 pawn, black plays knight to f6. Okay, black does not capture it immediately, black plays the knight to f6, and then white plays d4. Okay, after this you have got a footnote called number 1. Okay, so what it means is after d4, if you want to see what happened in this particular game with this, so that is quoted as footnote number 1. So here it is footnote number 1 here. Okay, oops. So footnote number 1 is always, they are always quoted as the actual games that happened. So what it shows is, and whatever has happened after that, it remaining moves it shows either to the end or to a interesting point in the game. Okay, so because we had this one, number 1 here was quoted after white's third move. Okay, so what does the game fragment is showing is, what if somebody else had played something different? If not d4, white played bishop b5. Okay, can you see it here? Bishop b5. This is the symbol of the bishop, right? And bishop b5. So this is the figurine algebraic. If you know the notation, I had said that algebraic and figurine algebraic is, instead of letters, they use the symbols for the pieces. Bishop, rook, you know the symbols. So that is what. Now this is showing another, this is a side variation. It is showing what happened in a game where some white played bishop b5. Okay, and generally these are good games, grandmaster games. So they are not like, there are players who are experts who are playing it. And this is what is the game fragment. Now here in this game fragment, you will notice actually in the line also you will notice the symbols of who is standing better, whether it is advantage, whether it is slight advantage, whether it equality, etc. And beyond that, in every game fragment also you will see that all those symbols are used. Okay, so if I were to read this thing, then what it means is e4 d5, e d5, knight f6, then third move white plays bishop d5, black plays bishop d7, then bishop e2, knight d5, like this it continues. And if you see, okay, seventh move white castles, ninth move black also castles, and then let me see some symbols I wanted to show you. Okay, here they are showing as 14th move, they are showing queen c1 with the exclamation marks. Okay, exclamation marks means it was a good move. Okay, so if you see this, you will find that it was a good move. And then after 15th move of white, they were showing as plus equal to. Plus equal to means white continues to have a slight advantage. Okay, this is how to read these books. Okay, slightly advanced, but you need to know. I am not going to ask you to read such books in level 3, but you should know what it is, right? Maybe in level 4 you will be looking at this. Okay, so now if you see the second footnote is immediately happening here. Second footnote is given against knight to d5. So instead of knight d5, something else is played, and that is what is the second footnote. So that is a even bigger game fragment has been given. So instead of what do you call d4, and what was that? Instead of knight to d5, black plays third move. Black plays bishop to g4 here. Okay, then what happens? This is what is shown here. Okay, so yeah, and then finally I mean, they will also at the end they will also quote who was the white player, who was the black player, what was the year, and this is when which volume of Chess Informant it was published. It's too much, you need not know, but at least you should know that finally you will know who was white and who was black and what was the year. So you will be always be able to search this in a chess database if you want the full game. In case they are not given the full game, if you want to find out, you can always, based on the white and black and the year, you can find out in a chess based database this link. Okay, so this is what it is. This is how to, so it looks a bit complex, but once you understand it, it becomes very easy. So I'm going to stop at this point and I will allow you to ask questions. Anyone has any questions?
Sir, is there a light chess tournament today?
Sorry, your voice is feeble. Can you speak louder?
Is there a light chess tournament today?
There is no light chess tournament today. We had it on Wednesday and we had it yesterday. So today we will not have it. Today it is only lecture.
So what's the name of this book?
This is okay. So there are many books with this, but typically they are called as Encyclopedia of Chess Openings. The most famous one is from it is called as the Encyclopedia of Chess Opening. But there are also things like Fundamental Chess Openings. Then there is Nunn's Chess Opening. Nunn was a grandmaster, Nunn, not None. Grandmaster John Nunn. He was a very powerful grandmaster in the 80s and the 90s. He's a mathematician also. He has written books called as Nunn's Chess Opening, NCO it is called as. ECO is the Encyclopedia of Chess Openings, ECO. ECO, BCO, Batsford is a chess publisher. They have published a book. It is called as Batsford Chess Openings. So yeah, many of them are there. So you will find it like this. I actually refer to something called as pocket encyclopedia, because rather than having these 300 into 5, 1500 pages, so 5 volumes, what instead I have is a very small pocket encyclopedia of chess openings. It is just about 120 pages maybe, and still it has got enough opening variations than I can ever grasp in my entire life. Okay, so that is what I use it. Maybe I'll send a picture of that. I don't know, it used to be published in India. I had bought it maybe 20 years back. But now I don't know whether it is any more in print, but I will send a picture of the cover on the WhatsApp group called as Pocket ECO. Okay. Have you understood how this chess notation and how to read this? Have you understood, or there are questions?
Yes, sir, understood.
Oh, everyone has understood. Very nice, I think. So what actually in chess base, the option is there to even, okay, not this, but maybe. So actually it allows you to see this also. Let me see some game. Okay, let me see. It allows you to show it in a table format. See, this is how it looks like. So Chessbase allows you to see it in a table format. Now this, I don't have too many variations in this game, so hence it is very simple. It is just showing like this. But the moment where the variations start, it is showing it. See, so it is showing me E4, E5, NF3, NC6, NC3, G6. This was what happened in this game. Because the first variation starts from sixth move of black, NC E7. So that is where it has started. First line, it has shown it as bishop G5 and knight C2 E7. And what had happened if knight G E7 would have played. So this is what it has shown it. It has tried, I mean, this is like showing the same, see, essentially you have to see that whatever that you can see in this bottom frame here, right? Or rather this notation here with variations given as in brackets, same thing can be represented as a table like this. Okay, exactly same thing. So there is a one-to-one mapping. It is just a way of presenting. This is more like descriptive way of presenting with all the comments, etc. But when you show it in the table format, there are no text there. It is only symbols. At the most, whatever are your symbols here, it will show. Now here I have not put, but if there is a symbol at the end, then it will show it in the table as the evaluation. Okay, so you can go back and forth into this. So it is all equivalent. Chessbase also allows you to show it in a score sheet format. This is how it would look if you were to actually play the game and write it down, right? This is how it will look. So they also show the same thing in a like who is white, who is black, what was the tournament name. They just create it based on whatever is the data, but you can see it in this format also. Okay, and you can see it in the opening books. Okay, I have not loaded, but otherwise it will show it in the opening tree format also. But this is the table format. Okay, so I think so this format that I talked to you about, it is called as a chess table format. Okay, you should remember only one thing. All these row names are for lines and column names are for moves. That is the most important thing to remember. Once you remember this, then you will be able to deduce everything else. You'll be able to figure out. But if you get confused about if these are the moves, then you will get confused. Then it is not. Okay. Cool. Any other questions? I'm surprised that you don't have any other questions. Are you, I mean, have you all really perfectly understood this?
Yes,
I was
sir.
thinking that you will have doubts and some things. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you have understood, huh? Okay, good, fine. What do the 3000 mean? Where did you see the 3000? Ohm, you are saying 3000 somewhere? 00. Oh, it is okay, okay. Okay, not 300. See, that is the symbol for the castling. You know this, how you write castling. Kingside castling is written like this. This is kingside castling. And this is queenside castling. Why? So that is the symbol for the castling. Okay. 00. While talking also we say 00. 00 means kingside castle. 000 means queenside castle. It is just denoting how many moves the king makes. Double zero is like king side castling. King always moves 2 squares, right? So hence it is called as, I mean, hence it is shown as 0-0. And because in the queen side castle, king moves 3 squares. So hence it is shown with 0-0-0. Okay. Okay, Uday, you have a question. You have raised a hand. Uday? Oh, okay, by mistake. Okay, all right. Fine. Ansh, everything is clear?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going around randomly. Srushti, clear? If you have seen this already, then obviously it will be very familiar. Then you don't have. If you have not seen this type of a thing, then it is just the first time you are seeing. Then it is thing. But once you see it little bit,
Yes, sir, I'm clear.
okay. Pranav and Siddhant, they are asking why there is no number on top of all the moves. Where you say on top of?
So
Ah,
like it
that
gives
is,
link no which game
sorry.
it gives a it tell know which game was played when.
That is here. Which game was played was here is in this footnotes only you can find out.
But it's not there in all the moves.
It is not there in all the moves. You are right. Sometimes like, uh, yeah, sometimes most of the time it is there, but sometimes it is not there. You are right. I mean, sometimes it is like too common a variation. There are many moves with that, etc. Then they will not give it. But if there is a unique kind of a thing, interesting thing, then they will give it. So yeah, it is up to the thing. Like most of the time you see that it is given, but here it is not given. For example, what is that? Number 5, it is not given, right? Actually what this means with this long dash and thing is that it will transposition is like sometimes you make a move, say fourth move you will make something and then fifth move you will make something, but sometimes it is possible to make the fifth, whatever you played later you can play it earlier, and whatever earlier you played you can play it later, and sometimes it just works out that it goes into the same kind of variation. So that is called as transposition. Like order is different but finally you arrive at the same position, so that is called as transposition. Okay, so that is a term. Maybe I will send it in I'm going to share a handout with all the chess terms. I will add it. Transposition means that. So for example, I'll give you, uh, you can say e4, e5, nf3, nc6, bc4. Okay, Italian opening ka beginning. Or you can also have it as e4, e5, bc4 first, bishop's opening. Then black plays knight c3 and white plays black plays knight c6, white plays knight f3. Now the order is different, but the same position has occurred. Okay, exact same position after 3 moves of white, third move of white. So will you call this as 2 different openings? No, because finally the position as achieved is the same one. So whichever is the dominant opening from which that position occurs, we call it as that opening. And then whoever has come by some side path to it, we say you have transposed into the thing. So if you play e4, e5, bishop c4, at this point we would have called it as a bishop's opening. But after knight c6, knight f3, then we will say you have transposed into the Italian game. Okay.
So what are those names?
So, and here, this is what they are saying. Here, what they are saying is that this will typically transpose. So there is a fourth move also here. There is an option for playing c4. And if you play c4, then sometimes by fifth move playing c4 and b6, you will transpose into the game, into the line where fourth move itself is c4. If I am not mistaken, fourth move here. Yeah.
So what are those names?
Which one? Which names?
The names.
These names.
Yeah.
These names are the players. So Dimitrov was playing against O. Rodriguez at, where is this place? This is the place where the tournament took place, Terrassa, in 1996. And this is what happened in that game. So that is why they have shown it, who played what. And also at the end of it, this is the game reference from the Chess Informant publication. So this is like 67th volume of Chess Informant, volume number 67. Game number 120, you will find it in that book. So this full game you will find it in that book, 67th volume, 120th game. Okay, so that is the reference. It is like indexing. Okay, So if you want to, if you are a serious player, let us say you have become tomorrow, you become an international master. Okay. And then you are preparing to become a grandmaster. Then like you will be studying 8 hours a day chess. Okay. Nothing else. You will be only studying chess for 8 hours a day. Then you will be going so deep that you will want to know not just what happened here, etc. Then you will want to know, oh, you are saying that, for example, you might question at that point of time, you will say, oh, this is showing us white is slight advantage plus equal to, but are you sure really? So they will want to go and see this game. And in this game, somebody would have annotated and commented some other things. So they will play through everything and they will, oh, this is, so they will get convinced, oh, this is, maybe it is slight advantage for white, but what are the black's options? So like this, they will do deeper and deeper study as you go thing. So, but at that level, it is like, for us, even I don't never, I mean, I just simply read this. Sometimes I look at it, but otherwise it is too much for me. Even at my level, it is like too much. I don't have, I mean, I barely have time to this one. This, if you start studying, then it is only for grandmasters and like international masters and grandmasters. Okay, but information is there. So what they do, so I might still look at it for only one opening that is of interest to me. I might just look at it slightly deeper, what happens, etc. But typically grandmasters, they will look at dozens of openings, because they will say, I might play this and the other guy might play something else. I need to know that also, etc. So all kinds of things. So they play. Like our level, it's okay to know 2-3 openings, and that if you know it well, you can still get along. Okay. All right. So this is there in the PDF handout, so you can always see it and refer to it. Okay. And as I said, conversion of that game that I have assigned to each one of you, look at the see, the main point is not conversion. The main point is, first you need to learn from the game. So it is okay if you just play through that game in the descriptive notation first. Okay. In the next 1 week, let us say, or 2 weeks, you can play through it. It will take some time, because one sitting, it will take 2 hours to go through that entire game and variations. So go through it first, understand it. Don't start writing down the work in the whatever that algebraic format right away. It's okay. You have a lot of time for it. What is more important is that you understand and enjoy it and learn from it. That is more important. And then secondary importance is that you submit the assignment later on. So that's why I've given a lot of time for it. So don't panic. Don't try to this one. But at the same time, yes, you need to do it. So start by playing through the game using that descriptive notation on a chessboard. Okay. Preferably physical chessboard. But if that is not the case, then you can put it onto this one. So that is what is my advice. So, okay. So I think we have pretty much completed. So if you have any questions, we'll take it. Otherwise, we can close the session. Next week, we are going to look at the most important aspect of avoiding blunders at level 3. Okay. We had visited it in level 2. Now we will visit it with more systematically, more thoroughly in level 3. So next Sunday's class will be on how do you systematically prevent blunders in your game. That is what we were doing the preparation for, getting the baseline data. Uday, I have not seen your data, and Ahan, I have not seen your data. Everybody else's data, I have got it. Okay.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, Ahan.
so you're talking about the book one which you sent, right, for the algebraic?
No, not the book one. Before that, see, yesterday maybe, or think there were a lot of messages going on finding out that computer chess analysis on live chess of your games, which will show you how many inaccuracies, how many mistakes, how many blunders you commit.
Oh yeah, sir, that Excel sheet, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mail it to you. I
Yeah,
forgot to mail it.
yeah. Oh, you have prepared it but forgot to mail it. Okay.
No, sir. Yesterday only I was thinking that I've forgotten something.
Okay, fine. And Uday, you also need to send it. Okay. All right. So I think any other questions?
Sir, is the descriptive notations that important?
Yes, it is important, because if you see, very lot of very useful games or books have been written in it, including the book that I told you about, Chess Master versus Chess Amateur. Very interesting, very good book. You'll be able to read it only if you know it. So every player needs to know this. Okay. So every player, now you are in level 3. Now Don't put it to optional. See, I'm not asking you to write a whole lot of things, but you need to get a basic familiarity with it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Because you will come across some book sometime which is available only in that format. Then you can't say that, oh, I don't know how to read it, so I'll skip it. If it is important for you, then you should be able to read it, right? So just as you learn mathematical language, right? You can't say that, oh, why those symbols of integration, differentiation, delta, I don't want to. But if you want to learn mathematics, then you will have to learn that symbols. So similarly it is. Okay. All right.
Okay, sir.
So I think we will, I'll stop the recording.